continue, break, and go to statements. Let us take one by one. First one is continuous statement. So all are small letters, but you can write continuous statement. It is the syntax of continuous statement is something like this. Or definition, I'll tell what exactly it means. It is used. It is used to skip the statements. It is used to skip the statements written after continue line, after continuous statement line. I should write that way. Just a minute. Continuous statement line and control goes to next iteration. Next iteration. Okay, this is something like the moment I say next iteration, say more than one iteration is possible only with the loops, and it is clearly mentioned it is used to skip the statement written after the continuous statements. It means the syntax is something like this. The syntax, it could be any loop, it could be for loop or while loop or do while loop, anything is okay, but I'm trying to give an example of for loop now. For loop, we have some initialization statement, maybe some condition we are trying to test, then there is a modification. This is what we have already discussed. Now under this we have a statement 1, then statement 2, then we write continuous statement, then we write statement 3, statement 4, then we'll complete this one. Okay, so whenever you write this kind of loop where some statements are there before the continue line and after the continue line, so what is going to happen is initially, and assuming that I equal to 0 is initialized, then 0 is less than 10 is true, then it will enter into the loop. Statement 1 gets executed, statement 2 gets executed. Already the moment it will find a continuous statement, what it says that it is used to skip the statements written after continuous statement. It means, can you tell me what are the statements written after the continue here? Anybody? Yes. Can anybody tell what are the statements written after the continuous statement line?
3 and 4.
Yeah, 3 and 4. So as per your understanding, can you tell me what will be the statements executed actually? The series of or sequence of statements executed. Sequence of statements executed in this particular loop. Can anybody tell based on the definition what I gave in the above?
1
ST1
and
will
2,
be
sir.
executed, ST2 will be executed next.
4, sir.
Sorry?
Statement 4.
Why statement 4? Now try to understand this line very clearly. It is used to skip the statements, skip the statement, not its statements, okay? So skip the statements written after continuous statement line, and control goes to where? Next iteration. What do you mean by next iteration? What do you mean next iteration? I will be incremented, is it not?
Yes, sir.
So when I gets incremented, then 1 will be less than 10 is it will be true. Then what will get executed next?
Statement 1.
So it will be repeated. How long it will repeat? Again,
Till
statement
1 is not less than
right
10.
or not? So these two for I is equal to 0. These two for I is equal to 1. These two for I is equal to 2. Like that, how many times? Let me take not more than, so let me take 4 only. Okay, instead of 10, let me write 4 here. Then when I is equal to 3, again statement 1, statement 2 get executed. For I is equal to 3. Again it will go to the next session, I becomes 4. 4 less than 4, true or false?
False.
So it will simply come out of the loop. So do you think statement 3 and 4 will get executed anytime? They will
No,
never
sir.
get executed, no? Yes or no? Respond.
No, sir.
Yeah, so statement 3 and 4 will never get executed because it is written after the continuous statements. Now, all of you tell me, is there any use of writing continue like this? Can I write this way? Is it a meaningful way of writing a continuous statement that way? To skip 3 and 4 every time and only execute 1 and 2. Instead of that, we can simply remove these 3 lines also equal, no? Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
Removing these 3 lines or writing as it is, there is no effect, right? The output will be same. Statement 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 will be executed 4 times. Is it not? Everybody understood or not? You just tell me. If you are not following, please ask, because it's very simple, and only thing is little clarification, means clarity is needed here. You try to read the statement what I have written in the above more clearly and understand, and then try to see that if I do not write the continue followed by statement 3 and 4, my result will be still same, no? 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 will be executed 4 times. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
So to give importance to it, to give significance, to give a significance to the statement, always associate it or associate with if condition. Agree or not?
Yes, sir.
So before the continue, if you write some condition, if some condition, so based on the condition only the continue will get executed. Otherwise 3 and 4 will get executed. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Right or not? It is something like say I'll tell you one thing. The students are having more than 70 marks or 70% of the marks 1 and 2, and it will verify if both are 70% and above. You continue with again with these two students next level of interview. If these two students are not no having a 70% of the, then it will scan the remaining 3 and 4 students. Yes or no? Assuming the 4 students have come for the interview, I'm just telling an example. First, they need only 2 students, and 1 and 2 are belongs to some 70%, less than 70%, assuming that. So means the average of marks will be taken and it will be compared here. If the condition is true, you continue with these two students, this particular student only. If the condition is false, you scan remaining marks. Is it okay? The other way I'll tell. All of you have written MCET exam. Obviously, you should have written, right?
Yes.
Yeah. In the MCET exam, do you know on what basis these ranks are allotted? Tell me. On what basis the ranks are allotted?
Percentile.
No, percentile is how it is calculated.
Marks.
How many subjects you have in MPC? In the MCET exam?
3 subjects.
3 exam, right? So suppose there are multiple students are getting same marks. Then how do they allot that rank? If all the 3 students, first case is something like this. How do you differentiate between a qualified student and not qualified student? On what basis they will categorize? Based on the cutoff, is it not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so first mass will be, they will check. If mass is not following or fulfilling the required cutoff, they will not check physics and chemistry. Do you know that? Are you able to follow what I'm trying to tell?
Yes, sir.
If you are not fulfilling the required marks in the mathematics subjects, even though you get more marks in the physics and chemistry, your rank will not be allotted to you. Do you know this point? I hope some of you might be knowing, some of you may not be aware of it. Correct or not? And somebody is already qualified in the maths with a required cutoff, then they will verify the physics. If physics is also you're not fulfilling, then also chemistry will not be verified. Straight away you will be rejected. Is it clear? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
And if you fulfill both maths and physics, then it will come to checking of the chemistry. Is it not? Tell me, are you able to follow what I'm trying to tell?
Yes, sir.
Verification of 3 subjects is immaterial. If statement 1 is a mass, then you write a continue. If mass is okay, then you verify next. If it is not, simply skip this particular student, something like that. Other way also, I'll give a programming related example. You go to an ATM. If what is that password is wrongly entered, then what do you do? What it will do? The password means the PIN number of ATM. If you type in a wrong way, what is the program is going to give an output?
Transaction field.
Not transaction. It will ask you to re-enter. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
It will ask you to re-enter at least 3 times. You'll get the option. After 3 times, it will get blocked.
Yes,
Do you know that?
yes, sir.
May not be for all banks. Some banks will be like that. Some banks will, as you said, the transaction gets failed or it will not further processed. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if password is correct, it will performing statement 3, statement 4. If means something like it will try to show the menu. You wanted to withdraw, you want to get the mini statement, or you want to some other options are available on the ATM. It will continue. It will go to the 3 and 4. If it is false, it will go to the next iteration. Means same thing it will ask. By executing some set of statements, it will show a line that re-enter the PIN. Is it not? Or enter the PIN number, something like that. Is it clear? You're not able to follow what I'm trying to tell. Try to ask. Otherwise, I'm not in a position to decide whether you are following or not. Understood or not? Okay, I'll write one example so that you can understand with a clear way. I'll give an example. The example is something like this. Choice, right? Something like hash include stdio.h. Then, okay, int main I'm using. Then I'm just taking some choice. Maybe, yeah, choice you can take. Choice is a variable name. And what you can do is printf, enter your choice. Then scanf, read the value into the variable choice. Sorry. Okay, then I use some loop. So loop means I need I also. So I'll just keep I. So this is not required. Then for I is equal to 0, I less than 0, 1, 2, 3 times I'm giving an option. I plus plus. Acha, what are the choice also you should know basically. So I just made a mistake here. Not mistake, the clarity in the program is missing. So to make it clarity, you can do one thing. Here there is one more printf. Printf. 1 means addition, \n. 2 means subtraction, \n. 3 means maybe division, \n. Then 4 means multiplication, \n. That's it. So the moment you execute this program, initially it will print 1 dot add, then next line 2 dot subtraction, then 3 dot division, next line, then 4 dot multiplication, then again it will print enter your choice. Then based on the above menu, you can select any choice. Then it will enter in the loop. Then what I will do is I'll write here something like printf, maybe entering into calculator mode, or else verification of choice. I'm just trying to print here. Then I'll try to execute if choice less than 3. Continue. Something, yeah, I think just a minute. If choice double equal to 1, then I have to perform addition, right? Maybe some printf. I'm not exactly doing, just trying to print printf addition program or addition logic. You should write here. Just a minute. If choice double equal to 2, printf, this is subtraction logic. If choice is equal to 3, printf division logic, or yeah, division logic. If choice double equal to 4, printf, then it will come multiplication logic. We'll make it more meaningful. If choice less than 3, continue. Yeah, I'll do one thing. Printf program is exiting. Okay, a slight change I wanted to do here. Slight change, okay. Let me not write this particular for loop. I'll tell you what does it mean. First time I'm writing this code without any initialization part. Simply say 2 semicolons. Do you know what does it mean writing these 2 semicolons without any initialization part and condition comparison as well as increment? What
It goes on infinite.
It is infinite loop. Yes or no? When you do not write any field I is equal to 0 or comparison or modification, the for loop is going to run infinite times. So infinite time means what I'm trying to do here is this small, just a minute. Okay, so because the program is very simple, I wanted to perform some kind of arithmetic operations. Initially it will print the menu, then based on the menu you will enter some choice. By any means, instead of 1 2 3 4 you might have entered something else. Then also I need to use this particular statement. Okay, even actually break I have not executed, but I'll try to explain here. Okay, what is the break? I'll explain little bit. So here what is happening is, first it will print verification of the choice also not required. I thought of some other program, but okay, it has come out with some other logic, but not a problem. I will remove this is not mandatory. Okay, fine. So it is an infinite loop. Choice double equal to 1. Instead of a printf, you can write some logic of addition and all. I'm not interested in exactly this, but how it is going to be executed only I'm important. So if choice equal to within 1, 2, 3, it is not an issue. Choice equal to 1, choice equal to 2, choice equal to 3, choice equal to 4 also it is valid. Suppose you enter a choice equal to, I think it is choice is less than or equal to 5, we should write in that case, because we have a 4 options, no? So 4 less than 3 suppose. So up to 4 less than 3, it will keep on asking for you. Means you are writing a program which will never end based on your choice, as long as your choice is within 1, 2, 3, 4. Agree or not? Are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
You want me to repeat once again? I'll repeat. This is not an issue. I'll tell you how it is going to run. Assuming that you have a 4 bytes of memory with the name choice is declared and with the garbage initially, then it will print the output is, first one is addition, second one is subtraction. This is an output, how it is going to work actually. The moment you run this program, initially there is a memory is allocated with a garbage value of a 4 bytes and the name of the location will be choice. Then it will print 1 equal to 1 dot add, 2 dot subtract, 3 dot division and 4 dot multiplication. Then the cursor is asking you to, it will print enter your choice. Enter your choice is going to print. Then you might type any value. If assuming that case 1, you're typing 1. Okay, I'm typing 1 followed by enter. So the moment you type enter, because of the for loop, it will enter into the loop because of infinite loop it is. Then choice is going to be updated after you enter your choice here basically. The choice is updated by 1 here. So 1 double equal to 1, true or false? It is true. Is it not? Tell me. Respond.
True, sir.
Yeah, so addition logic means instead of printf addition logic, you can write by replacing this printf statement. You can write some c is equal to a plus b by initializing some values, or you read a and b inputs again, then c equal to a plus b, then you print the result. Anything you can do it. So I'm not writing simply addition logic. I'm writing this. What about the second if condition? Will it be true or false? Second if condition. Tell me.
False.
False. So the second printf will not get executed. Third one.
False.
False.
False. It will not get executed. Fourth one.
False.
And what is your choice value? No, choice is how much?
One.
1 less than 5.
5.
1 less than 5, true or false?
True.
True. True means continue will get executed or not?
Yes, sir.
Continue will get executed or not? Continue
Will
gets
get
executed or
executed.
not? The moment continue gets executed, what about printf? Will it go to the next iteration or printf will get executed?
It will go to the next iteration.
Yeah, next iteration again, you're supposed to write enter your choice, no? Or instead of that, these 2 lines you can rewrite here again. There's nothing wrong, or straight away those 2 lines also you can write. There's nothing wrong. Enter your choice, you can write again here. Scanf percentile d ampersand of choice. This is correct actually. See, the moment I'm started explaining, I'm getting the more improvised program, how it must be. Both are same only, no? Yes or no? Tell me. Instead of writing printf and scanf outside the for loop or inside the for loop, there's nothing wrong. Only difference is unnecessary, no memory. Why should I waste? That is the reason I removed outside. But you write outside also, nothing wrong. First time when you write outside, there are 2 times it will ask enter your choice, enter your, which is not meaningful. That is the reason I just removed the outer printf and scanf. The moment program get executed, you will enter into the for loop, enter your choice. You enter the choice will be entered by you 1 or 2, 3, 4. As long as it is 1, 2, 3, 4, my if condition is what? True or false?
True.
True. True means it will go back. If it is going back, it will print again. Enter your choice. It will print again. Then again, what you do? Maybe you type 5 now. What is going to happen?
False.
First if condition gets false, second if condition gets false. Sorry,
Third, fourth.
all four if condition will get false, no? This four.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And what about this fifth one?
False.
It will
Also
execute, sir.
false. It's also
Sir.
false, no?
Sir.
It's also false. When it is false, continue gets executed or not?
No, sir.
No.
No. Then what it will print? Printf program is
Program is
exiting.
Exiting.
After exiting, what am I writing here?
break.
Break.
The break. Similarly, the way continue statement is trying to continue or trying to go to the next iteration. Break is a statement. I'll tell you. This is a definition. It will make control to come out of the loop. To come out of the loop. Try to read carefully. It's not required. What the break statement will do is it will make the control to come out of the loop. So because of the break, irrespective of the whatever for loop or a while loop or a do while loop you try to use, it will not care where I am, in which iteration I am. Simply it will make to come out of the loop. When you come out of the loop, obviously it will print what it is printing. Program is exiting, immediately break, it will come out. So I think continue and break almost it is important. Yes or no? You have, there is a possibility of using the break without if condition, but continue must be used always with if condition. Agree or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So continue, generally break also most of the time you might need a if condition. I'm not telling that in this particular example break does not need any if condition association, but generally 90% of the cases, 90% of the cases continue and break statements are associated with if condition. Whereas the break which we have used in the switch and case control structure was to come out of the case of a switch case control structure, but break in the loop will make you to come out of the loop irrespective of the which iteration it is running, what condition is currently going on, immaterial, right? Irrespective of anything, it will make the control to come out of the loop. That is the meaning of it. Is it clear to break? See, when class is going on, suddenly teacher says break. What does it mean? If some students are really interested to continue the class, some students wanted to go out, irrespective of the what is the state of every student, but class will get break. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So same thing here. Break has
Yes,
no
sir.
conditions. Break has no conditions at all. So it will be break means break. Interval means interval, right? Even school days also same thing, no? So breaks are having so importance. Okay, fine. So let me explain. This is second one actually. Break is the second statement. Now third statement, which is a go-to statement. Go-to statement is the other name is called I should not say unconditional jump. Yeah, I should write unconditional jump. Unconditional jump, the other name actually, but I'll tell you what does it mean. This statement, definition point of view, it is used to make the control of the flow or control of the program or control of execution to move from any line to any other line, any line to any other line. The meaning of it is it may be forward movement or it may be a backward movement. Backward movement. Whereas if you see loops will have a backward movement or forward movement. At the once the control comes to the end last statement of the loop, it will go back or it will go forward.
Go back.
It will go back, right or not? And even for if control structure also, only forward. If the condition is true, it will go forward. Yes or no?
Yes.
But jumping kind of thing, only the loops will give you that option, because you are trying to jump from last statement of the loop to the first statement of the loop. It's called only a backward jump. But go to statement will make you to move from any line to any other line. It could be a forward movement or a backward movement. But to make use, you must understand something called, a word is called label. Okay, we should write it as label. This is syntax. Syntax. Label, there is a statement. So first column means in the first line, you should start with some label name. Label name could be anything, but you write some statements. Then statement 2, then statement 3. Then I will write here, go to label. So what it will do is, statement 1 will execute, statement 2 gets execute, statement 3 gets execute. The control will see there is a statement called go to. After the go to, you have a label, means the name of this label should match. So here I'm writing same letters here, LABLE, LABLE. So directly will jump here. So statement 1, 2, 3 will get execute infinitely here. Statement 1, 2, and 3 gets executed infinitely. So do you think using go to statement this way is useful? Tell me. You want some statement to be executed infinitely or finite times? Generally, programming point of view.
Finite time.
We want finite or infinite?
Finite times.
Sorry? Finite times, right? So in that case, if go to statement I'm using directly, I have no control over it. That's called unconditional jump. The syntax allows us to use go to statement anywhere, but provided there must be a creation of a label, and you should write label after the go to statement. This is a syntax. So I'll give an example here. Again, I use hash include std io.h, maybe int main. At least no electronic students, the go to statement will be used very widely in the embedded programming, embedded C programming, where actual products are in the projects. When you come to third or final year, that time we use most of the embedded C programming. There we use mostly the go to statements. But at a first year level, generally every book and most of the teachers say that it is not recommended to use the go to statement because it's unconditional jump. So but still I'm very much interested to use this go to statement when I'm using my embedded C programming for most of the projects. Okay, so here let me write some numbers. Int are not required otherwise. Okay, some variable I'm using, not really needed. Okay, printf demo for go to statement. Demo for go to statement. Then what I use is maybe printf. Before printf, you can write here maybe first. I'm writing capital letters. Always write capital letters. It is good. Then followed by 2 colons. This is important. Colon, sorry, not it's a 1 colon, which is a 2 dots in vertical fashion. So I'm just writing first followed by colon. So it indicates I'm creating a label. After the label, I'm writing a statement printf. Maybe I am part of go to statement. I am part of a go to statement. Then maybe statement 1, statement 2. Then I'm using go to, then followed by first, FIRST, then semicolon. then you write statement 3, then statement 4. Now maybe you can write end. So in this example, what is happening is, till here there's no issue to all of you, because till here is a normal flow of execution. Int I with some garbage, demo for go to statement. Again, I said only to have a declaration statement I declared, but it is not used in my program. So demo for go to statement, then I'm creating a label here, the first, then printf I am part of a go to statement is going to be printed. Then statement 1 is gets executed, then statement 2 gets executed, then go to statement gets executed. After the go to, what you are telling, go to where? What it says? First, is it not? Yes or no? Tell me. Go to followed by, what is the name of the label here?
First.
First. So it will directly jump here. So don't you think it is similar to your for loop with infinite condition?
Yes, sir.
So that is the reason usage of a go to also, it is not really recommended directly. What I suggest is, it is a note basically. It's a note that every go to statement, again similar to break and continue, go to followed by label, I should say, statement, I think label is not required here. Every go to statement must be associated with if condition. So all the 3 statements without if not recommended. All the 3 statements must be used only after the if condition. So it is like, summary is something like, if condition followed by continue is okay. This is okay. If condition followed by break is okay, or without the condition also acceptable. If condition followed by go to, then label, LABEL, whatever it is. Is it clear? The usage point of view. Usage point of view. Usage point of view, continue, break and go to, all these 3 statements must be used after if condition. If condition is true, execute continue. If condition is true, execute break. If condition is true, execute the go to. Then only all of them will have a significance. If you do not use the condition, break always makes come out of the loop. Continue always makes your program infinite. Go to also will make your program infinite. Is it clear? Is it clear or not? Tell me.
Sir.
Respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what I will do is today, I wanted to wind up here itself, but next class, I will try to take one example for loop, while loop, do while loop, then continue statement, then break statement, then go to statement. Okay, one class will dedicate it for these 3 statements and the loop, because they are all related, interrelated. That is the reason I have not taken the today's class, only execution part. Probably tomorrow I will take completely the execution of the programs in the IDE, Dev C++ IDE, where you can have a both. I can use for loop along with the continue. I can use a for loop along with a break, and without any for loops, without any loop, by using go to also we can get the the condition similar to how a loop is going to behave. So these are the things we will discuss in the tomorrow's class. Okay. Okay. So
Yes,
just
sir.
I'm trying to